Recording. Good morning. We are going to learn more about what the Rebbe says a shliach is, an emissary. What is an emissary? And we said yesterday, remember, in the Sikha 1992, Chaisar, the Rebbe addresses the shluchim at the shluchim convention, and he says the shliach has the power of the one who sends him. So if a person is really in tune with the one who sends him, he has the power as to represent the one who's sending him, and he has the powers of the sender. So that gives him an extra, ability to do his shlichus. So that's the difference, that he said between a shliach, someone who's a messenger, and someone who's a shadchan, for instance. A good friend or a shadchan, somebody can be doing something to help somebody, but they have their own agenda or their own personality enmeshed and taking over the will of the sender. A shliach does everything according to the will and the intent, the kavanah, of the sender. So a shliach, an emissary, does use his own brain, his own mind. He has to figure out a way. So he has to, use his brain quite well, and his heart and everything to figure out how to fulfill the intentions of the sender. But so you have the two aspects. You have you as a person who's using your brain and your talents, and then you have you as the person, but you're only given over to completely to what the intention and the will of the sender is. And then you're a real shliach, and then you have the powers of the one who's sending you. So we are all shluchim of Hashem, so we have power of Hashem within us to do Hashem's mission, which is to reveal godliness in the world. Okay, so we're all here to reveal goodness, kindness, life, and this is very connected to what we're going through now, because this is the war that we're fighting. Everybody's coming to realize really now that if you boil it down to what's really going on in this war, it's a war of truth against lies, good against evil, life against death. We uphold life, the sanctity of life, of all life, of everybody, and some people that we're fighting glorify death, and they think death is the ultimate wonderful ideal. They glorify that. God forbid death is an ideal. So we're here in a battle of good against evil, and when we stay on par with that shlichus, that message, and that ideal, and that knowledge that we're here to reveal godliness and goodness in the world, then we have power beyond what we imagine. We have the power of the one who's sending us, which is the power of Hashem within us, and it's visible. So that's why we see a lot of people are waking up, both soldiers and people who are secular, who are not necessarily religious at all, or don't consider themselves religious, or they're taking on themselves all these things to protect the soldiers, to protect the hostages, to protect, women are lighting Shabbos candles, and people are buying letters in the Sefer Torah, and people are saying extra prayers, and people are giving extra charity. All these things, why? Because we know that the goal is to bring goodness in the world and reveal Hashem in the world. When we have that strength, and we're protected, and we have extra strength from above. And that's really I saw from Rabbi Ginsburg last night. They sent a short little clip in Hebrew, and the subtitles are in Hebrew, so I didn't forward it. But he also said there's levels. The purpose, to some degree, of Hamas over here is to get us to come to a deeper, higher level of trust in Hashem and in confidence in our ability to reveal Hashem in the world, because we're not being complacent even on a high level of trust or emunah. There's a level of emunah where we can say Hashem knows what he's doing, Hashem is doing everything good, and we can be passive and just watch, the scene unfold. And there's an even higher level of trust, which we're pushed to get to when push comes to shove, of taking action and doing our part, and then having confidence that Hashem is going to make us succeed in doing our part to reveal Hashem in the world. And that takes a deeper, higher level. And so sometimes there's a yerida, there's a fall in our emunah, in order to get us to dig deeper in ourselves and come to a deeper awareness of our shlichus, which is our mission, and trusting in ourselves that Hashem is giving us the power. So it's a higher level of bitachon that Hashem is giving us the power to enact and reveal Hashem in this world. And that takes more, a higher level of bitachon, of trust in Hashem. Chaim, we should all do that. In any event, let's go inside. 11. על פי הידוע שכל אחד ואחד מישראל יש בו בחינת משה ומבחינת משיח. מובן שעל כל אחד ואחד מישראל יש מעין שני עניינים הנזכרים. Since we know that every Jewish person has the aspect of Moshe Rabbeinu and the aspect of Mashiach within him, and there's footnotes on the bottom. Aspect of Moshe is in Tanya chapter 42. Aspect of Mashiach is from a book called Ma'or 9 and the Parshas Pinchas. So therefore, we know each and every Jewish person is a shliach of Hashem. The shamash is Chana to serve Hashem, His Creator. Klolut shlichuto ilayot haaretz. The whole shlichus of Him is, what is our shlichus? To shine up the land, shine up the earth. La'ir et ha'olam kulo b'or kedusha ba'olaki, to shine the whole world with the light of holiness, light of godliness. So there's two ways of doing this, similar to the two luminaries, the bigger luminary and the smaller luminary, like we said, the sun and the moon. Like we know, everything in the world is like a reflection of what's going on in our heart. Our service as a mishpia, as a sun, radiating, giving. And our service as a receiver, the moon. So we have the aspect of serving Hashem like a giver to shine our light, and then like a receiver with a returning light, just like the aspect of Moshe Rabbeinu learns, or a teacher learns, or a rabbi can learn from his students more than what he would on his own, right? The questions the student asks, or having to explain it to the student, brings out a deeper understanding of what you're learning, right? You get it better. And that's called or chozer, returning light, that through the students, you come to a higher level of awareness and understanding. So there's something in the or yasha, the direct light, the giving light, and the returning light, each one has something that the other one doesn't have. Okay, there's an aspect of something in each one. In detail, this reflects this in detail, or you could say these two aspects are the two aspects that every shliach, every emissary needs to have. One is bitul shliach al derech levana, a bitul, a nullification to the one who's sending you, the messenger who sent you, similar to the moon. The other one is what we said, being an existence unto your own, with your own knowledge, your own understanding, that you clarify to yourself with your own brain, your own mind, how you're supposed to keep your shlichus and fulfill your shlichus in this world, like the sun that shines onto the earth. So from this we learn that Mashiach, wait, I didn't give tzedakah, I don't think. I said to give tzedakah, I didn't give tzedakah, sorry. Okay. So, מזה שמשיח עומדים בהתאחדות כל ראשון וכל אחרון, נמשך בין זה, גם בעבודתו שידעו שבתור שליח יתאחדו בשני עניינים. So what we said before is that Moshe Rabbeinu, when he asked Hashem, send with the one who you'll send, he was thinking of uniting his soul with the soul of Mashiach, meaning having the two aspects of a giver and a receiver, the light of the moon, light of the sun, unifying, light of Chachma, the light of Malchus, right, as one. So we all have this aspect within us of the possibility to unite these two powers that we have within us of a giver and receiver. And as a shliach, we can have these two aspects, being the first redeemer, the last redeemer, are both within our soul, and we can have them together. Yesh lo masler, but puts in brackets his own chiddush, so let's pay attention. שזה מרומז גם בתיבת שמש שיש לה שני פירושים, שמש המאירה משפיעה לעיר הארץ, ושמש לשון שימוש וביטול השליח. מצד זה שאני ניבאתי לשמש אסקוני, שאני לא ניבאתי אלא לשמש אסקוני. So שמש in Hebrew has two meanings. Shemesh can mean to, on one hand, it can mean to be like a sun that's mashpia, that's giving over. Shemesh could also be from the word shamash, which means a servant, or to serve somebody. L'shamesh somebody is to serve somebody. So, which means this bittul, this nullification of us and as a shliach to Hashem, to the will of our Creator, to serve Hashem and do. I was to know that we were created to serve Hashem. Al pi hamduvah le'el she'akoach al inyan hashlichut bichlal magia מהשליחות הראשונה שבתורה, השליchut ששלח אברהם את אליעזר לעשות השידוך של יצחק ורבקה. And to know in general that the power for this shlichus, the power for us to be emissaries in general, comes from the first shlichus, the first mission in the Torah of appointing the first emissary, which Avram appointed Eliezer to make the shidduch for Yitzchak and Rivka. This is a good week to work on shidduchim, okay? Maybe today we'll get a shidduch done, okay? מובן גם כן שכשם שבשליחות הראשונה נתן אברהם המשלח כל אשר לו, הואיל וזה נוגע למילוי השליחות בשלמותה, שכל הפרטים והעניינים ייוחדו בנקודה כללית של ייחוד מה ובן, נישואי יצחק ורבקה, כמו כן בכל שליחות ושליחות של יהודי. לשם שהזכרני הוא מקבל כביכול כל אשר לו, מהמשלח הקדוש ברוך הוא, עד הכוח של עצמותו ומהותו יתברך הכולל את כל אשר לו, כדי לפעול את הייחוד של נשמה וגוף של יהודי בעולם הזה הגשמי. So he's saying that, like we said before, that when Abraham appointed Eliezer, he gave him everything he had, right? He gave all his money, everything, all his assets to Eliezer to show that he's giving it all to Yitzchak. He gave him a note. And this was why? To make the shlichus work. So what can we learn from it? That we receive, so to speak, from Hashem, everything from Hashem. Until we have Hashem's power, the essential essence, we have the power of the essence, which includes everything. And in order to be able to unite our soul in the body, in the physical world, okay, doing our shlichus of bringing spirituality into physicality, godliness into the physical world is not so simple, okay? It takes a lot of power. Hashem gives us the power as if when we do our mission, when we're on par with our shlichus. And the Rebbe says, then he ends over here, באופן שכל הפרטים, פרטי פרטים, ועבודם של ישראל נעשים חדורים בגילוי בכהונה ותכלית אחת ויחידה, הגילוי של משיח צדקנו, שלמות עניין השליחות, ייחוד מעבר. So Hashem is giving us the power for it to permeate in a revealed way, the power of Hashem in the physical world in a way that all the details and the details of our service of the Jewish people are permeated with revealing the point and the purpose, which is what is the purpose and point of our shlichus in this world, is to reveal Mashiach Tzidkenu, to reveal Mashiach, our righteous Mashiach, Shlemut Inyan HaShlichut, which is the completion and the wholeness, that's the ultimate of our shlichus, which is uniting Ma and Ban, right? The higher revelations and of spirituality with physicality. And Yud Bais, paragraph 12, כל זה נתווסף איתו בדוין הזה במיוחד אשר בו נוסף חידוש בעניין השליחות, שכבוד קדושת מוליכים מאדמון עשיתו, אינו מינה כל אחד ואחד מיסוד הדור, זה להיות שלוחו, והפצת התורה והיהדות והפצת אמונות חוצה, עד הבת הגולה מפתווה שמה, he says, in our generation this takes on much more meaning, much bigger chiddush in shlichus, because the Previous Rebbe appointed each and every one of the Jewish people in his generation, of our generation, to be his shliach, to spread Yiddishkeit, spread Torah, spread the wellsprings of Chassidus to the outside until we bring the Golem Pesach Shalom. Okay, so here is very clear. We're all shluchim of the Rebbe. Okay, the Rebbe always spoke of himself. Instead of speaking of himself, he referred to the previous Rebbe as leader of the generation. He said the leader of the generation, the previous Rebbe, already appointed everybody to be his shliach, his emissary. Welcome, Guta. Okay, so here it's very clear. The Rebbe is saying at the end of this whole sicha of what shlichus is, at the Kinus of Shulchan, the International Convention of Shulchan, he's saying all the Jewish people already appointed to be shluchim of the previous Rebbe, to spread Hashem in the world, spread Chassidus in the world, spread Torah in the world. Okay, Yiddishkeit, Torah, and Chassidus. Okay, is that clear? The Rebbe couldn't be clearer. Okay. וכפי שרואים בפרשה עכשיו קל יותר להסביר ליהודי אפילו כזה שלפני זה לא הייתה לו בגילוי שייכות לכך שבנוסף לעבודתו האישית יש לו גם את האחריות להיות שליח להשפיע ממעלתו וידיעותיו על אחים, חמים, בני ביתו וחברי ידידיו, וכל מי שהוא יכול להגיע להם. Like we see now in actuality that now it's easier, the Rebbe says, to explain to a Jew that even one that before he had no connection in a revealed way to this kind of thing, that aside from his own service, personal service of Hashem, he has the responsibility to be a shliach, to be an emissary, to influence from his understanding and from his talents, his abilities on other people, starting with his own family, his own friends, and anybody that he can reach out to, which is amazing, which is what we see now, especially with social media. And we see people posting all kinds of different people that with tattoos or with anything, all stripes, influencing and bringing messages of hope, messages of encouragement, messages of about Torah and mitzvahs, about connection to Hashem, from everybody to be right. The Rebbe says it's much easier now to do this, and we see this more and more, well magnified, more than what it was in 1992. It's the social media is bursting with people of all types, all kinds of Jews encouraging others and being a mashpia, influencing others. They're called influencers, right? Mashpia. ובזה נתווסף במיוחד בנוגע לאלה אשר זכו שמתוך עם ישראל גוף הם יוכלו להיות שלוחים של נסידורנו וכל עבודתם בכל אמת לעת שלו מקודשת לנו לשלוח אותם בהפצת תורה ויהדות והפצת אמונות חוצה והבאת הגאולה. And this is increased actually, especially in those that had the zchut, the merit, that from within the Jewish people themselves, they were chosen to be the shluchim of the previous Rebbe, and all their service is from 24 hours is dedicated to doing their shlichus, their service of spreading Torah, spreading Yiddishkeit, and spreading the wellsprings and bringing the Geula. Okay, it looks like Chavrach wants to say something. Is that correct? Okay, because you got big.
I'm just thinking. You can see me thinking.
Yeah.
Not out loud.
Okay. Wait, no. ועל אחת כמה וכמה כשהשלוחים מכל קצה תבל מהספין יחד בכינוס השלוחים העולמי, אשר כינוס הצדיקים ענה להם וענה לעולם, מביא הדבר הנאה אמיתית, הנאה דקדושה להם ולעולם. עולם גם מלשון הלם והסתר, ובפרט שזהו כינוס השלוחים העולמי. שלוחים הנמצאים בכל קצווי העולם כולו, ועבודתם מתבטאת בביטול ההלם והסתר של העולם הפיכתו, עד שיעשה דיאלוג בך באופן של ייחוד מה, ובן בהכנה לגאולה כנזכר לאל. How much more so, the Rebbe says, when the shluchim from all around the world are coming together in the Kinus of Shluchim internationally, Kinus, a convention for the tzaddikim, and it's good for them, good for the world. It brings a true enjoyment of holiness to them and to the world. In fact, especially it's an international Kinus of Shluchim. Shluchim that are here from all corners of the earth, and their service is expressed in the in removing the concealments of the world, concealments of God in the world, until they make it a dwelling place for Hashem in a way of uniting the Ma and Ban as a preparation for Geula, like we explained before. Okay. י"ג, ובזה גופה שזה שייך לכינוס השלוחים בכל שנה ושנה. נתווסף החידוש בשנה הזו, במיוחד בקשר שעבודת השליחות עם שלח, מביאת ישלח, השליחות של משיח צדקנו. So the Rebbe is connecting it mostly now to that year 1992. דבר לאל, שכבוד קדושת מריחה מאדמו, נשיא דורנו הודיע שכבר סיימו את כל ענייני העבודה, וכבר עומדים מוכנים למדו לכם כולכם, כבת ממשך צדקנו. He said, the previous Rebbe already announced that we finished everything that we need to do in the world. We're ready to receive the face of Mashiach, our holy righteous Redeemer. וכפי שרואים זאת, כי מדובר כמה פעמים גם בכך שבמאות העולם נתקיימו בכמה וסימנים על הגאולה, החל מהסימן באלוקות שימוני שהגיע זמן גאולתכם, מזה שמלכויות מתגאות זה בזו, ובפרט במדינות הערבים, כולל מה שרבים אלו, שבמה שכונה ועידת השלום הם הודיעו שהם מוכנים לבטל כל העניינים למען שלום, כביכול. So the Rebbe is explaining it. We spoke a few times that even the things that are happening in the world, that have happened in the world already, we already fulfilled some of the prophecies of the simanim, the signs of the Geula. Like the first sign was from the Midrash Al Kachumani that the time of redemption has arrived, which the Rebbe spoke a lot about in 1991 during the Gulf War, where he quoted and he said how it says in the Al Kachumani how Malchuyos, nations of the world, will be threatening each other, especially in the Rebbe says in the Arab countries, especially including what the Rebbe says. We see that lately there was a peace, a getting together to talk about peace, and they said they're willing to give up on certain things in order to get peace. However, nothing happened with it, meaning the Jewish people were willing to give up certain things for peace, which is not a good thing to give up things. There was also peace through security, not through giving up on land, right? The Rebbe spoke about it very strong. So here the Rebbe says it didn't happen. So that was also good that didn't happen, that they didn't give up territory at that point. כבר נתקיים הסימן של השנה שעברה, התשנ"א, ראשית תבוא יותר שנת נפלאות הראינו, בסופה בשנה זו והולך ונמשך יותר שנת נפלאות בה, בכך שזה נפלאות שנעשה המהות והתוכן והנשמה של השנה. So the Rebbe talks about the acronym of this year. Niflot was the acronym for the word nun, Tafshin Nun, is Niflot, which is wonders, okay? And in it, there's the Niflos, there's the wonder of the neshama, which is the wonder essence of content of the neshama, the soul of the year. Meaning the wonders of the year are like the soul essence of the year. And we've seen in actuality that certain things that Hashem is fighting the wars, that Mashiach says will fight the wars of Hashem and will be successful. And the Rebbe says we see that this will happen in a few ways of peace, of a war in a peaceful way. When it says Mashiach will win these wars, when Netzach is to win, it also Netzach also is the word for eternality, eternal. So Netzach has in it Nun, which is the 50th gate of understanding. Tzaddik is for Tzaddik. And Ches is the revelation of Mashiach, which is connected to 8. So Netzach is very Mashiachdik. ומזה מובן שמאחר שהשלוחים עומדים כבר מזמן לאחר מילוי התחלת עבודת השליחות בהפצת התורה והיהדות והפצת אמונות חוצה, ומזמן לאחר שאמצע עבודת השליחות עד שכבר סיימו את השליחות. כדעת נשיא אינה נזכרת לעיל, ואף על פי כן עדיין לא בא בפה ממש הגאולה האמיתית והשלמה, צריך לומר שעדיין יש שם משהו לעשות כדי להביא את הגאולה בפה ממש על ישראל. So since the shluchim are standing here, already a while after they finished the fulfillment of the service of shlichus in spending time in Yiddishkeit, and wealth springs out to that way. And we're already, after that, we're already past the middle of the service of shlichus. We finished the shlichus already, like the previous Rebbe said. Still, Mashiach hasn't come in actuality, in the Poel. Poel is an actual, we haven't had the true and complete redemption. So the Rebbe says, we must say, there's still something less for us to do to bring the Gula in actuality. And what's that thing that we have to do? על פי הודעת כבוד קדושת מלחמת מון, נסידורנו, השליח היחיד שבדורנו והמשיח היחיד שבדורנו, שכבר סיימו את כל העניינים המובן שמתחיל להתקיים, שלח נביאה תשלח, השליחות של כבוד קדושת מלחמת מאדמו, ומזה מובן עד שהדבר היחיד שנשאר עכשיו בעבודת השליחות הוא לקבל את פני משיח צדקנו בפועל ממש, בכדי שיוכל לקיים את השליחותו בפועל ולהוציא את כל ישראל מהגלות. So the Rebbe says like this, we know in every generation there's a person who's alive, who's born and alive and ready to redeem, he was born and ready to redeem the Jewish people. And he's worthy from his holiness. And the Rebbe says, who's the Mashiach of our generation? That's the previous Rebbe, okay, the Previous Rebbe. He's the only Shliach of our generation, and he's the only Mashiach of our generation. And the Rebbe says, now we have to have already what was started, the Shlach Nabiat Shlach, send who you'll send, the Shlichus of the Previous Rebbe should be enacted. So what's the only thing that's left. Okay, he already did his shlichus. He already, he already came to the world. He's saying, what do we have to do? We have to receive the face of Mashiach in actuality, in order to keep his shlich, to finish his shlichus in actuality and take all of the Jewish people out of the galus. So this stands very strongly and more emphasized when we're in this parsha of Chaisara, when we have the Kinus HaShluchim, the International Convention of Shluchim, we're reading the Shluchus that Avraham Avinu sent Eliezer to make the Shidduch. This gives the power of all the Shlichus, especially completing the Shlichus of the Mashiach. It's also Shabbos Mevorchim, where we bless the month of Kislev. This month, that year, the Rebbe said there's 2 days of Rosh Chodesh. Chodesh Geula. Kislev is called the month of Geula. Chodesh Matan Torah Pnimiyut Torah. It's a month where we have the giving of the Torah, of the inner dimensions of Torah. Right? We have Yutas Kislev. Chodesh Shlishi B'Mei Gshomim. It's the 3rd month of the winter months. Chodesh Matan Torah Negilet. Okay, it's parallel to the 3rd month of the revealed part of Torah that was revealed on month of Sivan. להוסיף שגשמים קשורים גם הם לשליחותו של משיח מלמטה למעלה דרך לבניו עד יעלם מן הארץ שדווקא מן הארץ בא נשמה בגוף נעשה מחמת גשמיות מהגשמיות נעשה עד עד שיעלה למעלה איתם רוח אלוקים החפר על פני המים זהו רוחו של מלך המשיח מאחר שנעשת התחייה בתור נשמתו דקות קדושת מויכה מידמו בפועל ממש כנשמה בגוף לא כפי שהוא רוח מחפת על פני המים. Wow, it's a pretty big paragraph, but they were saying that we should have the fulfillment of the Previous Rebbe's neshama coming back into the body, and reveal, which is connected to the spirit of Mashiach is hovering over the water that it says when Hashem created the world. Welcome, Karen. So this Ruach HaMashiach, the spirit of Mashiach, which is hovering over the face of the water that it talks about in the creation of the world, the Rebbe says should already be happening with the Previous Rebbe's neshama coming down in actuality, a soul in a body, not as a soul hovering over the face of the water like it was in the time of creation. So that should happen now, okay? And that happens through us making the Chomit Gashmi from the physicality. We elevate it to spiritual. Paragraph 14. כל שצריך לצאת בהכרזה והודעה לכל השלוחים, ושעבודת השליחות עכשיו ושל כל אחד ואחד מישראל מתבטאת בזה שיקבלו את פני משיח צדקנו. The Rebbe says now we have to make a big announcement, okay, at the beginning, the opening of this International Convention of Shluchim, that first of all, we have to make an announcement and proclaim to all the shluchim. The shlichus now is each and every one of us, is expressed by receiving the face of Mashiach Tzidkenu. Klomar, what does that mean? כל הפרטים בעבודת השליחות של הפצת התורה והיהדות והפצת אמונות חוצה צריכים להיות חדורים בנקודה זו, כיצד זה מוליך לקבלת פני משיח. That everything that we do in our shlichus, all the details, spreading Torah, spreading Yiddishkeit, spreading the wellsprings of Chassidus, have to be permeated with this point of how is this going to bring about, how is this moving us towards Kabbalah's Pnei Mashiach, Kabbalah, to receive Mashiach, meaning that have permeated our whole intention, like we say, when we get tzedakah in the morning, tzedakah is hastening the redemption closer. So he says every little detail that we do, both in spreading Torah, spreading Yiddishkeit, and spreading Chassidus, is how is this bringing about the receiving Mashiach Tzidkenu? How is this permeated with this is the goal, this is the intention, and how this is going to further the cause. כל ענייני העבודה שבכל ימי חייך ובכל יום עצמו בכל פרטי שעות היום צריכים להיות חדורים להביא לעימוס המשיח. So he says not just the spiritual work, but every little aspect of our daily activities, our service of Hashem in all the days of our life, all hours of the day, have to be permeated with this idea of להביא לעימוס המשיח, to bring to the days of Mashiach. לא רק לרבות, כפי שכתוב בכמה מקומות שהוא השולח עומד ומחכה שמשיח יבוא. Not just to be like a shliach who's standing and waiting for Mashiach to come, and then he will take part in it once it starts, once it's already happening, and they'll enjoy it. Okay, once it's already But our job is lahavi, to bring Mashiach. We're doing everything we can to bring Mashiach. We're not, okay, sometimes when I watch the news or looking through the news, I say, wait, how is this going to help bring Mashiach? I really need to be doing something. So I give myself the excuse. I'm doing this because I'm looking for, it's not just an excuse, for signs of how we're already actually bringing Mashiach, what people are doing to enact and to bring about Mashiach revelation. And we can see that depending on how we're looking at the news, okay? So what are we doing to bring Mashiach? That's our focus. Lashon Rabim, lo hakatchala shel yom echad, elo shel yomot rabim, yomot Mashiach, days of Mashiach. It's not just one day. Lo hakasha Mashiach hu bechizkat Mashiach, elo kol yomot Mashiach, gam shemot shel Mashiach v'day. So not just the days of Mashiach as when he is as possibly Mashiach or held to be potential Mashiach, but all the days of Mashiach, meaning the fulfillment of that he is for sure Mashiach, etc. If we have time, we'll go into that idea more. I want to finish the Sikha. We have just a few more little parts. הכוונה בפשטות היא שמכינוס השלוחים צריכים לבוא להביא החלטות טובות כיצד כל שליח צריך להתכונן בעצמו ולהכין את כל בני ישראל במקומו בעירו וכו' וקבלת משיח צדקנו על ידי שהוא מסביר את עניינו של משיח כמבואר בתורה שבכתב ובתורה שבעל פה באופן שמתקבל אצל כל אחד ואחד לפי שכלו והבנתו. כל במיוחד על ידי לימוד ענייני משיח בגאולה ובפרט באופן של חוכמה, בינה ודעת. So the Rebbe's intention here is simple. That from this Kiddush HaShluchim, we need to come and take resolutions, good resolutions. How? Each Shliach has to prepare himself and to prepare the whole Jewish people in his place, in his town, etc., to receive Mashiach. What's he doing to prepare them? Through explaining what Mashiach is, what is Inyanin, what's he about, as it's explained in the written Torah and in the oral Torah, in a way that they can understand and receive it, relate to it, right? Each person according to their mind and their understanding. This includes specifically and mostly, especially, learning the ideas of Mashiach and Gula, especially when it's internalized in our mind, wisdom, right, understanding, and connection and with our mind, connecting it, internalizing it, relating to it. Since it's the our avoided, this is our, right? That was making it very clear what our mission and our service now of our times is manazeh. It's relevant to each and every Jewish person. Nobody is exempt from this. It's for everyone. And the final paragraph 15, it should be Hashem's will, Shalidei, Shekol Shliachim Letafkido, Bishlemot, B'kol Esel Kochot HaNefesh, ובפרט שכל השלוחים מתחתו ויתכנסו בזה, יביאו תקף מיד ממש את גילוי בשלמות של השליח העיקרי והאמיתי ביחד, עם גילוי 10 כוחות שלו, שליח שלח נביאת תשלח, השליח שבדורנו כבוד קדושת מוריך מיד מור נשיא דורנו, כפי שהיה בדור שלפניו, שכבוד קדושת מוריך מיד מור נתאחד עם אביו, אשר הוא היה בנו יחידו. כך שיש את השלמות של כל שיבת קנה המנועה, כל שיבת דור. So the Rebbe is making a prayer here at Shvi Hashem's will, that through that each shliach here is fulfilling his mission completely, wholly, with all the 10 powers of his soul, especially when all the shluchim come together, and they come together in a convention, and they convene how to do this, I guess, or they help each other, they support each other. Yaviu Tekuf Myanmar will bring complete, very, very immediately, the revelation and the completion, the wholeness of the Shliach Hikari, the main Shliach, and the true Shliach, which is, with his 10 powers of the soul, which is Shlach Nabiat Ishlach, the Shliach of our generation, the previous Rebbe. And just like it was in the generation before him, that he was together and united with his father, he was the only son of his father, and so to be completion of all the 7 Kanei Menorah, the 7 Rebbes of Chabad, of all 7 generations united, ועוד בעיקר and more, מאחר שכבר סיימו את עבודת השליחות. ניגש כל שליח למשלח האמיתי, הקדוש ברוך הוא מודיע, עשיתי את שליחותי, ועכשיו הגיע הזמן שאתה כביכול תעשה את שליחותך, שגם הקדוש ברוך הוא שליח מגיד ואב ויעקב, ביחד עם 10 הספירות הרי עצמותו, ומהותו בעצמו כביכול הוא משיח צדקנו. שלח לנו ביד תשלח, שלח לנו את משיח צדקנו בפועל ממש. So the Rebbe is saying like this, the main thing is that really we finished everything that we need to do our shlichus, and every shliach can go, is approaching the true Mishalech, the true messenger, which is Hashem himself, and he's announcing, we're announcing to Hashem, I've done everything I've done my shlichus. Now it's time for you, Hashem, so to speak, to do your shlichus, because Hashem is also a shliach, and to use his 10 powers of his spheres, the 10 spheres, right? Our 10 powers of our soul mirror Hashem's 10 spheres. So to take his 10 powers, 10 spheres, and his essence, so to speak, together, which is Mashiach, together, put them together to bring Mashiach Nana, Mashiach Tzidkenu, to give us, to send to us Mashiach himself in actuality, in the physical world, in the tangible, right? ואפילו אם עדיין לא יכול להיות ספק שהקדוש ברוך הוא רוצה להחזיק בני ישראל ונוסף בגלות למען גודל הנחת רוח שעבודה בגלות מסער לו זורק יהודי, כל מה שאמר לך בעל הבית הזה חוץ מצער, כל מה שבעל הבית זה הקדוש ברוך הוא אומר צריך לעשות חוץ מצער, חוץ מלהישאר עוד רגע חס ושלום במצב של צער, מחוץ לשולחן אביהם, מבקשים וטובים כביכול מהקדוש ברוך הוא, שלח כמו ביד תשלח, בשנת ובתחילה יד תשלח, וכבר תגאולה מפי השם. So even though if we could say that maybe there's some doubt that Hashem wants to hold us one more moment in exile. Why? Because you could say maybe Hashem wants the satisfaction of us doing our service in Galus in exile, and a Jew cries out to Hashem, whatever Hashem tells you to do, you do whatever the Bais, the owner, tells you to do, you do except for going out. What does it mean? There's a saying, it's a saying from, I believe, from a medrash or a Gemara, that everything, it's from Psachim, it's from Gemara Psachim. Whatever the Baal Bais, the owner, tells you do except for leave. Which the Rebbe translates this to mean that the Baal Bais is Hashem. Whatever he says, if he says go out, go out to Golos, go to exile, we're supposed to say no. That's it. We're not going out anymore to exile. We don't want to stay in one more second, God forbid, in a state of being away from our Father's in heaven, right, table, and we ask and we demand, so to speak, from Hashem, do send this, and the beginning of first yad tishlach, bring already the geula v'tisva shalom, which is complete redemption. So the Rebbe said we have to, so to speak, demand from Hashem, ask, and also, so to speak, demand of Hashem to give the kivyachol, the geula v'tisva shalom, the true and complete redemption. ביחד עם שלמות בעבודת השליחות בסיום לקטעי תורה פרשת בחי, יש מיד את שלמות הניסים שהשם של ישראל וקדושו בריך הוא, בפרט על ידי שמקבלים גם את ההחלטה הטובה ללמוד את כל ספר תורה ולקטעי תורה, כל חלקיהם עד סיומם. שעל ידי לימוד התורה בעניינים האלו, ממה ללמוד יותר את המשכה בפועל, עד לאופן שנקבת הסובב גבר, שהקדוש ברוך הוא בעצמו מודה כבכל לבני ישראל שלכל אחד ואחד מישראל וכלל ישראל על עבודתם, כאפילו אם לא הייתה בתכלית השמות, והוא מלך את כל בני ישראל לארץ הקודש, לירושלים עיר הקודש להר הקודש לבית המקדש השלישי ועוד וברכת תלכו מיד ממש. So together with the completion and wholeness of the service of Shlichus, we have immediately the complete marriage, like it's talked about in Shir Shirim, of the Jewish people with Hashem. And especially when we take upon ourselves this achlata, this resolution, good resolution, to learn all the Sefer Torah or in Likutei Torah, all their parts until the end. Okay, I must say I haven't done that. Maybe we have to do that. Not maybe, I guess we do. It's hard. It's a lot. Through learning our Torah, these ideas, we bring them down in more naturality quicker, until a way that the female will surround the male, which is the Kadosh Baruch Hu Atzmo, Hashem himself, admits, so to speak, to the Jewish people, to each and every Jewish person, to the whole people, and all together, about their service. Even if our service, the Rebbe says in parentheses, was not completely wholly perfect, okay? So even if we didn't do ours personally, Hashem acknowledges our service. He takes all the Jewish people to the Holy Land, to Yerushalayim HaKodesh, the Har HaKodesh, the holy city, the holy mountain, to the third Bais HaMikdash, and take us from Yad Mamish. Okay, what do you ladies have to say about this? And What have you taken from this?
I'd say how fortunate we are that the Holy Land is being made more and more holy every day.
Yes, yes, and we're taking part in it, right?
Yes.
We're taking part in this Geula Mitzvah Shleimat Shum, complete wholeness of revealing Hashem in the world. So anytime we feel, God forbid, discouraged or worried or anxious or anything negative, no, the Rebbe is saying no. We're taking part in revealing Hashem in the world, godliness, goodness, holiness in the world, and ultimately we're bringing the redemption. And it's by focusing on the total goal. What is our total goal of everything? And we have to demand though that we don't want to stay one more single moment with Hashem concealed and hidden, where we're of seeing, not seeing Hashem in the world. That's it. We're done with that. We've had enough. I think the whole world has come to that point. We've had enough. It's too much. I think we've reached our limit.
Even Germany is really staunch.
Everyone, even the Palestinians.
Even.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're thanking us because we're guarding them to get out so that their people don't kill them.
Yeah, I think they've had enough. I think they see through the whole thing already.
Yeah.
The facade of the lies totally being uncovered. Yeah. Hashem is being revealed in the world and the world's ready. The world, like I said, going to hand over to the Jewish people to take over and make the world a better place, physically, spiritually. It's within our hands, and we need to just keep pushing that point. This is where our goal is. Where are we heading? We're heading Geula Mitzvah Shleima, revealing Hashem in the world. That's what we're about, and that's what we're doing, and that's where we're going. And let us do our job and support us. And that's being more and more happening more and more and more. And the more opposition there is, the more it's coming revealed that this is so necessary, and this is what we have to do. So we should be matzliach and be successful immediately. So I'm going to do the psukim. Ha'atziv alanu Moshe, Moshe kilas Yaakov, Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. בכל דור ודור, חייב אדם לעוז את עצמו כאילו הוא יצא היום ממצרים. כל ישראל יש להם חלק לעולם הבא, שנאמר בהם כולם צדיקים. לעולם ישר צנצה, מתי מעשה ידע לספר, כי קרוב אליך דבר מאוד, בפיך ובברכך לעשה סובי. הנה השם ניצב עלינו מלוא כל הארץ, כבודו ומביט עליו וברכן, כל יסולד עם עובדו כראוי. בייש יסבר אלוקי ועשה שמיים ועשה ארץ ושיננת ומבונך, ודיברת בו משפך ובייסך ובלכתך ובדרך ובשך ובך ובקומך. הגעתי במוצא סיעת המין, לא הגעתי במוצא סיעת המין, הגעתי במוצא סיעת המין, ואהבת לרעך כמוך רבי עקיבא אומר, זה כל גדול בתורה, וזה כל אדם וסך תסביע, סביעס כל העולמות עליונים ותחתונים לעשו יפרדיר עזו בתחתונים, ישמח ישראל ויספר שכל מי שהוא מזה ישראל יש לו לשמח, בשמחת השם אשר שש שמח בדרך זו בתחתונים, וכי אדוני מוינו ורבינו מלך המשיח ולבן. Thank you, ladies. Thank you for joining. Have a wonderful, wonderful Shabbos. We should have complete.
Thank you. Shabbat shalom.
Thank you. Good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos, Karen. Lovely being with you. And hopefully next time we meet, we'll be in your shrine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Amen.
Take care.